So here we are, back at the bench, and got a couple of penguins, and we got a razor or two, and got this nice stone. Right now, I don't know if I'm going to publish this. I'm learning a new software, and me shooting this footage is more about me figuring out how to do multi-angles and everything else. But I figured maybe I'll get lucky, and maybe I'll have something worthy of putting it up on the channel. If not, then I'll just throw it out and start over. Figure out, as long as I was going to hone, I might as well just get into it. So I got this out. Now I re-honed this earlier, went down to 1.5K, my Shaptons, and then I'm to a 5, and then went through a progression, and Nagura progression. And then I stopped and reassessed some video work. I like to multitask and do all kinds of things. So in between honing, I'll stop, I'll look at my videos, and I'll go do something else and whatever else. So I was thinking about this video software that I'm involved with now that lets me do, theoretically, lets me do multi-angle a little bit more easy than the last one. The last video you saw, I had a couple of angle changes, so I had 2 cams going on that one, and I have 2 going now also. And I think, I'm not doing this because I want a slicker production. I'm doing this because I really think that if I can get the angles and the editing down, I think it'll help do a couple of things that makes the video a little easier to watch, but also maybe sheds a little light, a little more light on the actual honing process, which is, tantamount to everything here. It's all nice and well and good to have intros and outros and whatever theme music and whatever else YouTubers do. But this channel is about education, explanation, direction, and I think as I look over my stuff, I keep saying, I wish I could get in there, and see it from that angle at the same time or whatever, and who knows? I don't know. I'm not an editor. I'm a still shooter. That was my trade forever, and now I do website work, but still very close to the photo industry. Anyway, yeah, the website I work on is actually embedded in the photo industry. But so I don't think in motion. I don't think in video. I don't think in edit, cuts, B-roll, cutaways. I don't produce in my head that way. I work to a moment. Okay, that's my thing. So that's my creativity. That's where it takes me. So to translate that into video is very difficult. And if you look at the progress in my video making, you can see, I've struggled with some aspects of this, and apparently it's all good. No one's really complaining. This is just me. I look at the clips, and I'm like, it'd be good if I could see from that other angle, or maybe it would just make it a little less monotonous, or help people keep their attention span going in that same direction. So anyway, what I have here, stone-wise, because this is about honing, not my video making, is this really incredible Nakayama. And a lot of people have had a lot of comments about it. It is rather striking. It has a interesting, almost holographic type of patterning going on here. And someone did actually say something like, "Oh, it looks like Karasu," and I can understand where that guy was going there, but Karasu is a particular thing, and this is not that. But there is a nice pattern with some movement in it under here. So we have this Keto looking patch, and then underneath there's this blue, gray, green Mizu thing coming up, and it's it's capped on the ends with some yake which is, just a field of color, and like, those things don't affect, your honing. Someone tells you something like, Goma or Makume or whatever is going to make it a better stone. That's not accurate. Anyway, so I got this out, the gold dollar thing, because I was just tired of the edge, and so I zeroed it out. And it's important for me to have a zero edge, in other words, my starting point. So all of my further on work, I can gauge it. So the synths help me do that pretty well. I can do it with naturals too. It's just easier with synths, and I've honed this like, I don't know, 45 times or something. So I just don't want to like be wearing out like my naturals on this Chinese paint stirrer. Anyway, it'll shave when I'm done. It just, at the end of the week after it's shaved, I'm gonna have to rehone it, but whatever. So here I am, like working Coma. Yeah, this is Coma Nagoro. Right, I always use Coma when I hone with Nagoro. I shouldn't say always, because whenever I say always, then someone's gonna say, "Hey, remember that video where you didn't use it?" And it's like, yeah, okay, that could happen. But generally speaking, Coma is something that I always grab. It's a good starting point for me. In a touch-up, I might go back to Majiro automatically, but maybe not. Depends on how I feel. But something like this, where I've done my progression already, and I finished off with a really incredible piece of Majiro. Where'd it go? Here it is. Look at it. Beautiful, beautiful. I just got this like recently. It's just freaking wonderful. It has this nice patterning on the bottom. It's almost like Nashiji. But yeah, it's just lovely, lovely, lovely Majiro. It's Majiro that thinks it's Coma, which is nice, because this Coma thinks it's like Coma Plus, so that's a good set. Anyway, so just honing a little bit here on this guy, and gonna get the edge to that point where Tomo Nagoro Slurry is gonna take over. I'm not gonna go crazy on this, because this steel just does not really ever want to respond to that, like what I call a high-end edge. And what razor is it? Where is it? It's out here somewhere. This one. This was in the last video, right? I decided to rehone it after the video completely, and then really lean on the steel to see how far I could go with it. And I cut myself shaving. It was just so ridiculously sharp, and I was just like not paying attention. I was exhausted. I had been editing. I'm like working on learning new software, and I like burnt out. I was not in the right space. Rule 1: always respect the edge, even on a lowly gold dollar. These things will hurt you. So yeah, I blinked on this and it cut me, and so there's that. But yeah, I put a lot of work into that edge. And the follow-up shave was absolutely brilliant. But the one where I cut myself was, well, I was bleeding, so that sucked. You never really get like a great shave if you cut yourself like and you're bleeding all over. You can't like really make it up, So maybe someone can. I can't, Anyway, so let me wipe this off here. Yeah, forgive me for not being like, uber perfecto here. This is like I'm running and gunning. I'm not really trying to make a point or demonstrate too much. I'm just showing off this like gorgeous stone, which, yeah, and it's not for sale. It's not going to be for sale. It's a killer piece, and I'm going to keep it for at least an extremely long time. Yeah, I'm really down with it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it hones. It's borderline super hard. In fact, it probably really is super hard. But it's at least very, 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 very hard. And with this Namito, also Nakayama, but with this piece of Namito, this is like killer Tomo Nagura stuff right here. I know. You probably saw a video where somebody told you that you can't tell the difference between using different Nagura. And I'm going to say it again. People who say stuff like that should just stop honing, or at least honing with these stones. Because seriously, if you can't tell the difference between, honing with slurry made from this and, maybe slurry made from that, I don't know. Do you have a face? Do you have nerve endings in your cheeks? Do you actually have whiskers? I don't know. I just, I hear stuff like that, and people are like, what do you think about that? And I'm like, I don't know what to think. I think people that say stuff like that are just really confused. But anyway, maybe it's me. Maybe I just imagine everything. Maybe I really don't shave. Like, maybe I don't get these amazing shaves. Maybe I don't ever really sense that I'm running a windshield wiper over my face, and I don't ever feel the blade actually cut anything, and I just wake up and there's no whiskers. Maybe I don't even have a beard. That's it. That's the answer. I don't really have a beard. Sorry. I'm in rare mood today. I'm homesick from work. I'm actually kind of injured. I had a chicken bone almost take me out yesterday. The whole thing. I almost wound up having to get in an ambulance and all of that shit. But no, it was just like ridiculous. Coughing and puking and bloody nose. Yeah, in the middle of all of that, I'm like choking my brains out. And my body's trying to get this foreign particle out of my throat, and it won't go. And then, like, my nose lets go, and I got, like, this red waterworks, like, running into the toilet at work. And I'm, like, trying to grab somebody I know and tell them to get a paramedic. But anyway, so that was my day yesterday. So I woke up this morning, and my throat is really hurt. It's, like, scratched up and what have you. And my back is really sore from retching. So, I don't want to make the recuperation period longer, so I took a day off so my throat can heal, and it's actually like 1,000% better right now. My back is only like a little bit sore, but I don't even know why I'm telling you this. It doesn't matter. That's just why I'm here and why I'm in like a weird mood, I guess. It's like, just like one of those like weird moments in your life where like you just don't know what's going to happen next, and then boom, like, you're having a fruit salad, and you're like, Jesus, I was just about, like, unable to breathe 30 minutes ago. Anyway, so here I am on my Tomo Nagura slurry, and the feel on this stone is very, very, very super silky. Silky satiny. There's a little tiny like texture in there that you probably wouldn't feel with straight silk, so that's why I say satiny, because it has that like a little bit of graininess in the weave on what I consider to be satin. So it's there and it's quiet, but the steel itself is got a unique feel on this stone. The steel, I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but it feels like the steel, it feels like the bevel is matte finish, so I don't have that like high polished gloss on gloss feeling. And what that's doing is it's giving me this like, it's not a feedback where I'm feeling bumps per se. I mean, it's vibrations for sure, but the difference in this stone versus one that gives me that like more bumpily type of like feedback is that I don't know how to explain it. This is more like having a conversation with another person rather than an inanimate object. And I know that sounds like completely insane, but it really does feel like the stone is talking to me, although it's talking to me through my hand. But it's not like I'm trying to read Braille, which is kind of like what reading most feedback is like. This is actually more like my hand is actually hearing words, and I know that's an extreme analogy, and someone's going to take that out of context and say, oh, he's lost his freaking mind. But if you were honing on this stone, you might actually understand what I'm trying to say. The downside to that is I'm never going to let go of this stone, so no one's going to get that piece of information. Who knows? Maybe I will sell it someday. But like right now I wake up and I come in here and I look at this stone and I say, wow, that's my stone. I love seeing it. And I move it to another place in my workroom, and it just kind of feels like it's more than something on my bench. It's a part of everything here. It's not just another thing, you know. A lot of stones come through here like that for me. This is one of them. And every now and then I get in the mood and I sell everything and I just move on, because that's how I force myself to learn. I get complacent, you know. So anyway, this is done. You know, I got to that point where I'm no longer sensing any advancement in the edge. And even though it's done, right, what I'm going to do here, I'm basically just going to do some very, very, very light water only passes. I don't have to do a lot. It's not necessary. Just sort of like a final buff on the edge. If there's any little spindly guys sticking up off the edge, something like that has a chance of like maybe mellowing it out a little bit, and maybe you don't feel it, maybe it doesn't do anything, but maybe if it does mellow it out, then maybe your shave is a little bit smoother. Hard to say one way or another objectively. It's just something that I do. Anyway, so here's a nice look at a really cool looking Nakayama. Really nice patterning. The back is a little mundane, a little tiny patch of skin, you know. The end isn't like perfectly square, but I don't care about that. It's not an investment stone to me. I mean, it's an investment. It wasn't cheap, but it's not like I'm looking to retire on this puppy. Anyway, so quick look at another Nakayama. All right, so maybe it wasn't all that quick, but it was quicker than a lot of other videos. So I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Remember, it's about having fun. So make sure you...